On the wind-torn ridges where the air is thin and sharp, snow spirals in endless plumes across fractured stone. It howls through iron-dark canyons, a lonely sound that carries echoes of something ancient and vast. Shudder. Loose snow drifts down like a silent gray curtain. Immense begins to stir. Claw ridge monster heaves itself over a jagged crest. Footfall cracks the frozen earth and sends tremors through the surrounding rock formations. Enormous iron-colored claws scrape against the stone, leaving deep grooves in their wake. Thick shaggy pelt covers its mountainous frame, each strand coated in a layer of frost. It releases a low growl, a rumble that feels less like a sound and more like the mountain itself groaning. The environment answers its call. Shifts on the ledges. Tremble. Grows heavy with a palpable tension. Each monster lifts its colossal head, its sharp senses detecting a presence that does not belong, a wild, frigid energy carried on the blizzard winds. Across the alpine valley, the blizzard thickens unnaturally. Falling snow coalesces, pulling together, twisting and turning as if guided by an unseen force. A wave of intense cold sweeps across the landscape, flash freezing the falling snowflakes into tiny sharp crystals. Storm erupts. Blizzard fur devourer materializes from the heart of the snow squall, a whirlwind of white fur and primal fury. It is a tempestuous mass of blizzard white fur, so thick it seems to blend with the raging storm around it. The ice blue eyes glow with a fierce, untamed light. Its paws are tipped with claws of obsidian, sharp enough to shred glacier ice. It falls silent. Titans pause, their hot breath turning to instant frost in the biting cold. Two forces of nature, one of solid rock and iron, the other of storm and ice, facing each other across the frozen expanse. Monster, a guardian of the stone, and the devourer, an embodiment of the blizzard, prepare for a battle that will scar the mountainside. Iron Claw Ridge monster makes the first move. With a roar that shakes the very foundations of the peak, it lowers its head and charges. Movement is a force of unstoppable momentum, a living avalanche of rock and fury. Iron claws dig into the ground, tearing up massive chunks of frozen earth and stone as it thunders forward, aiming to crush its foe with sheer brute force. Blizzard Fur Devourer is a creature of the storm, as elusive as the wind itself. Meet the charge head-on. Instead, it dissolves into a swirling vortex of snow and fur, the blizzard itself becoming its cloak. Each monster smashes into the space where the devourer stood, its impact creating a shockwave that splinters the rock face behind it, sending a cascade of snow and ice down into the canyon below. Before dust and snow can settle, the devourer forms behind the ridge monster, its ice-blue eyes burning with cold fire. It surges forward with startling speed, a blur of white against the gray stone. Obsidian claws rake across the ridge monster's flank, but the thick, shaggy pelt and tough hide deflect the worst of the attack, leaving only shallow furrows. The monster bellows in fury, turning with surprising agility for its size. It is a massive iron-clawed arm in a wide arc, a mountain breaker slam meant to pulverize anything in its path. The devourer leaps back, its paws barely touching the ground before it launches itself onto a nearby cliff face, its claws finding purchase in the frozen rock. It trembles up the vertical surface with an unnatural swiftness, a ghost in the snow. Higher vantage point, the blizzard fur devourer unleashes its own power. Out a piercing howl, and the blizzard intensifies, the winds whipping into a frenzy. Summons a frost vortex, a swirling tornado of ice shards and snow, and hurls it down at the ridge monster. The vortex engulfs the titan, the razor-sharp ice crystals battering its thick hide. The claw ridge monster plants its feet, bracing against the onslaught. It is a creature of the mountain, unmovable and unyielding. Deep resonant roar, it stomps its foot, triggering a ground-shaker shockwave. It trembles, and the rock beneath the devourer cracks and groans. face shudders, and the devourer is forced to leap away as its perch crumbles, sending an avalanche of rock and snow tumbling into the valley. Titans now face each other on the open ridge, the battlefield scarred by their conflict. The monster, covered in a fresh layer of frost from the vortex, stands its ground, a symbol of enduring strength. The devourer, agile and relentless, circles it, a predator made of winter's fury. The devourer tries a new tactic. It races around the ridge monster, a white streak against the snow, creating a disorienting blizzard shroud. It is in and out of the swirling snow, making quick slashing attacks with its obsidian claws, trying to wear down the larger titan. The strike is met with a swipe of the ridge monster's massive claws, or a frustrated, ground-shaking stomp. The iron-claw ridge monster grows tired of the game. It inhales deeply, its chest expanding, and then unleashes a powerful boulder hurl. Iron claws dig into a massive frost-covered rock, tearing it from the mountainside and flinging it with incredible force toward the circling devourer. The devourer is fast, but the projectile is enormous. It tries to evade, but the boulder clips its side, sending it tumbling through the snow. It hovers quickly, shaking its shaggy white fur, but the impact has clearly taken a toll. A growl rumbles in his chest, a sound of both pain and defiance. To its advantage, the ridge monster charges again. This time there is no escape. It closes the distance, its immense weight and power undeniable. It slams into the blizzard fur devourer, not with a killing blow, but with the force of a moving mountain. The impact sends the devourer skidding across the ridge, its form flickering as it struggles to maintain its connection to the storm. The devourer rises, shaking its head. The ice blue glow in its eyes dims slightly. It looks at the unyielding ridge monster, a titan of stone and iron that is as much a part of the mountain as the peaks themselves. The devourer is a force of the storm, but storms pass. Mountains endure. Final mournful howl that echoes through the canyons, the blizzard fur devourer begins to retreat. The form becomes less distinct, its fur seeming to dissolve back into the swirling snow of the blizzard from which it came. It walks away, a phantom of winter fading into the weather, and disappears into a thick swirling snow cloud that drifts down the valley. It stops. The blizzard recedes. The iron-claw ridge monster stands alone on the peak, its breath steaming in the now calm air. It settles gently on its broad back and around its massive silhouette. It lifts its head and lets out a final, triumphant roar, not of aggression, but of declaration. One that claims the mountain as its own, echoing across the silent, snow-drenched ridges as the pale winter sun begins to break through the clearing clouds.